Hi, fourth graders. I hope the first day of distance learning is going well. This is going to be an introduction today of a program we're going to use called IXL, and then some quick tips of how to use, how to get into Think Central at the very end too. And so to get to IXL today, you're going to type in IXL.com and search for it. You should come to this screen. And so you should have a password tip sheet with the password in it and your username as well. And if you don't know that, if you can't find that, make sure you contact your teacher. They have it for you. But for most of you, I believe it's your first and last name with a number at the end. And then your password is something simple as well. And so I'm going to log in as my daughter. Everything is lowercase. And then a password. And remember, you can normally click remember and then your device will not make you log in. You might need to still do your password once in a while, but you should make sure you sign in every time. And one tip, sometimes you'll log in right away and you'll see your name and password in there. You still have to click log in, otherwise you won't get credit for some of the activities that you're doing. So you should come to a screen something similar to this. And this bar here at the top is going to be really useful for you. These are all the things that you have access to. And today I want you to take a look at the math and maybe the language arts if you feel like it as well. So what you'll see is when you click on the math bar, it's going to bring you, it brought me to fourth grade math, but it might not bring you right to fourth grade math. This side over here is where you're going to be able to choose the grade level. So choose fourth grade if it's not. And then all of these different options, as I scroll down and down and down, are all activities and extra practice that you can get. Now, as we get into our assignments later in the week, we'll be assigning you some and we'll have links that'll take you directly to that assignment. But today I just want you to explore. And so, for example, I see multiplication here. If I want to work on my multiplication facts today, if you hover over it and leave the mouse there, it's going to give you an example of what problems, what types of problems you're going to be working on in that activity, right? And so if you want to know, oh, what's going on with decimals? Is this one I want to try? Oh, it'll just hover it for a second and it'll tell you what's in there. So I'm going to go back. Let's do multiplication facts to 10. Okay, so this whole activity is just going to be multiplication facts, right? And so you'll notice a couple things as you're working. Okay, if I get 7 times 6, let's see, did I get it right? Correct, great. Notice my SMART score is going to go up. So your SMART score keeps track of how well you're doing, right? You also have the number of questions you've answered. I did one earlier, so it says I'm at 2. And it's going to keep track of how long you've been working for. If you get a message that pops up and says your 10 question limit is up, look up here, make sure it says welcome your name. If you get that message, it means you're not logged in. So log in if you get that message. There is no limit on how many questions you can do. Okay? But as you answer questions correctly, this score is going to go up and up and up out of 100. As you get further and further in it, the question difficulty gets higher and higher. So like a lot of things we do, as we get better at it, we need to be challenged more. And what you'll start to see, and I'll talk about awards later, as you get more questions right, there's awards and different things that you can earn. But I want to make sure you know what happens when you get something wrong. So 7 times 10 is 3. Sure it is. No. Okay, so this is really important though. It gives you, it first shows you this is what you answered, and then it gives you a solution, and it explains, no, the answer is not 3. This is why 7 times 10 is actually 70. And you say, oh, I got it now. Now you try another one. And you keep going. If for some reason you want to try something else, you can always go back out of it, right? And go back to the different activities you were just in. Or you can always also just click on this. This IXL brings you back to the main page. Okay? And so I want to look at that awards. My daughter was using it a little bit last week. So she's got some, and she's a kindergartner. And so she's got nothing for fourth grade. But her kindergarten awards, you can see you earn some things, something like this. And you just get different tabs for doing different skills, right? And so what does this one say? She mastered a skill, right? She got really good. I can't remember what we were working on, but if you hover over them, it's going to tell you what you need to do in order to get this, this box uncovered, right? And so different skills that you'll need to master. And then you can also get a certificate, right? And you can go through and you can see, oh, what have I been doing? So it kind of keeps track of all your progress. So you have, my daughter's been working on her kindergarten skills in math. You have started practicing. You've started practicing math and language arts, so you get skills for that, or you get certificates for that. Now, the language arts tab is also something you have access to, and you do for science and social studies too. There's a lot of stuff in here. So for language arts, same thing. You'll click on that 4th grade tab, and all of these activities are things that you can practice and work on. So if you, for one day, you want to work on inferencing, right? And so you can hover over it again, and it'll tell you they're all short passages, for the most part, really short passages, and it's types of answers just like you see where you're clicking on the correct box. Sometimes you have to drag things around. Sometimes there's a little bit of typing, but it usually gives you clear directions that says what it is that you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to answer, the problems. Okay. So your goal today is to go in and just kind of explore in IXL. There is a ton of stuff. Okay. And so maybe spend 15, 20 minutes on it. You know exactly how long you've been in it, keeps track of how long you're in there. But just make sure you can get in, first of all, and then explore. And then the other thing we'd like you to try is, we know through Clever that you can go into Think Central. But remember now, you're on a different device. So the first time you go to Think Central, you're going to log in through Clever. And remember, it's going to give you that one-time Microsoft login screen. And so your username for almost everything you use is the same, except of course for this. So the first time you log in, remember, it's that same number you always use to log into your Chromebook at sspps.org. There is no apps in this one. I have no idea why, but that's the way it is. So don't put the apps in. And then your password is the same password that you always use, okay, to get into your Chromebook and to get into any of the other activities, most of the other activities that we do. Okay, so the only difference is just no apps in that. And then when you log into that, right, you can go in and you can play Poggles, or you can do it if you want to explore through there. You've been in there a lot. Later in the week on tomorrow's lesson, you'll actually get an assignment in Think Central. So I just want to make sure you can get in. And then your job today, right? Get into IXL and earn some awards. See what you can do, and then at least get logged into Think Central. All right, good luck today, guys. I hope you're having a good day.